Hey, and Shalom family. I'm Yasharael coming back again. Now look, we talk about this a lot on my platform. Understanding what marriage is, y'all. Marriage is about you entering the course. But you look at the Hebrew word for that. The Hebrew word for marriage means oh no. That's literally the actual word. Oh no. Like when you hear it, like that sounds wild. But it just means that sexual cohabitation or living together, and that being a duty. So understanding when we're talking about this, it is a deep topic. But the Bible has already told us and shown us in itself, without even including in the Apocrypha, that when you go into a woman, you become one flesh with her. And there are parts inside of the Apocrypha that bring up a marriage contract, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to have a contract on top of what you've already done and consummated and have claimed and made commitments together, then that's fine. But in general, the whole thing of you just doing it is becoming one flesh. You're twining yourselves. The two become one. Let's go ahead and go into this next piece on that. This is the one we get a lot of backlash on. I talk about it. I'm not going to stop talking about it either. What are you talking about? A man having more than one wife. If you go to Exodus 21:10, these laws were for the slaves, right? People talk about that and dispute on that point. But understand, this is a law for the slaves of Israel. So even the slaves were allowed to take multiple wives, but had parameters for it. Like, I want y'all to understand this, and everybody thinks that, oh yeah, you got to be a king in order to have multiple wives. Understand, this is just your duty. Your duty as a man to take care of the woman that you are laying with. That is it. This is a standard throughout Israel. This is a standard for the slaves. This is a standard for the kings. This is a standard for everyone. And you're not supposed to have this big, huge status. Got to have these big houses, have all this extra money. You're not supposed to have all that, even for the slaves. The three things it's telling you to not to even diminish is her food, her raiment, and the duty of marriage. Meaning, what you're doing for your household, regardless of that sexual stuff like that, you can't diminish that. We're taking on another. So you look at this, y'all. It is a deep thing, but we got to go into this because it starts with denying your flesh. If you are able to deny yourself, and that's why I keep on talking about it, because there are a lot of sisters who absolutely despise this topic. And I'm not saying there's a need for a man to have it, but it just shows in the spirit how far you are away from Yahuwah's love being within you when you bring this up. Because I myself, as a man of Yah, have encountered multiple women who want to be a part, want to be with me, want to have these things with me. But once you bring this up, this is a thing that says, oh, well, if you really want to do that and we're married, then and you end up still wanting to take somebody else, then you're going to have to just write me a bill of divorce. You're going to just have to get rid of me. You're going to just have to go ahead, or I'm just going to go ahead and mess with somebody else. So then you have to get rid of me. You see what I mean? This does not come from, the reason why this is being talked about is because it's such a deep-rooted thing of us not being able to deny our flesh and be able to serve for the Most High. Because us men, it shouldn't be about lust. That's number one, and I got to say that. It should not be about lust. But for us, understanding what marriage even is to begin with, it is having sexual relations. And saying that you are going to do this. As a woman, you are entering course. You're entering the course with the man. The man is saying that I have this ability to be able to teach you, be able to take care of you, being able to love you, and this is what I'm going to do. And the whole point of even doing that is to make sure that what you're doing is Ephesians 5, you're putting in all this effort, you're giving yourself into this woman so that that helper can bring her help back to you, the man, to be able to make you a better man of Yah. And so regardless if it's one woman, regardless if it's multiple, 2, 3, doesn't matter. As long as he can do what he needs to do. Because the point is that he's having multiple, it's showing that he has enough inside of him to give to these women. So if you got a man that's saying for this, and this is what he's showing, you see that he's a great man, you see that he's an amazing man, you should have no problem with this. Because you can see that, yes, this man has a lot to give. He has so much inside of him. And it's that point that the more help that he is able to gain, he is able to accelerate and do even more for the Most High Yah. And that's why it's such a beautiful thing, and I praise him for it. But we just got to be able to understand this, y'all, because it's so deep. But so many of us are so far away from that, but we got to be able to come back into that to do it Yahuwah's way. Because that's where it starts with us being able to understand that peace. Men, being able to have the knowledge, the wisdom, the love to be able to take care of a woman. This is for life, y'all. Because I want y'all to understand that, yes, we talk about adultery. Those are two different types of things. A man, you can be an adulterer. A woman, you can commit adultery. They're in two different types of ways. Going to the Hebrew, the word for adultery is a woman that breaks wedlock. And for a man that commits adultery, it's absolutely everything to do with him messing with a married woman. So you're causing this, you're creating this, and you are being placed as an adulterer yourself. If you leave that woman, you're in the same boat. So realize it is a duty. This is what Yahushua brought up in Matthew 19. It is our duty to take care of that woman unless she steps out. Because then you can no longer even go into her without her being a defiled place for yourself. So you understand that this way this works is so deep, y'all. But I pray that this reaches y'all, and I praise the Most High Yah, because this is a deep conversation. And the more we understand this and jump into this and truly accept this, and we deny ourselves, we will become better as a people of Yasharael, of Israel. So let's do it Yahuwah's way. Let's do it his way. Not our own way. Not our own fleshly desires way. Not our own lusts of our heart. Not our own selfish mindsets. Not our own, I want to be the God mindset. No. Because it's supposed to go to our Father, y'all. But so many of us miss that. But I pray that this helps somebody. Make sure to get this video out to more of Israel, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Shalom.